there would be a lot of things that will come our way, and how we handle those situations when we are in the midst of dilemmas, in the midst of a lot of questions that may come to our mind when we are in the group practice, how to deal with those, and how to believe in our own selves that no, this is what I wanted, and that is why I'm doing it. So this is the first step, is to understand our own selves. What do we need to understand? We need to understand that, okay, I have been practicing solo for all these years. Am I now ready to enter a group? If I'm ready, why am I ready? What is it that I'm expecting out of a group practice? Um, will I be able to survive through all those questions that might come up later? So, the first step is understanding our own selves. That is group practice right for me? Is it what I really want? This is what Dr. Tejas has already explained, that what are the pros and cons of a group and a solo. A quick recap of that is that if you are in a solo practice, what are my advantages? That I could do my own thing. I could I have a free hand to design, develop, and grow my practice. I can control the relationship with my patients and can offer more personal care on a one to one basis. And I can also have my own dedicated staff that is only to my own self. But of course, all of this has its own cons, and that starting as a group practice has a much bigger advantage, because it, as a group practice, your overheads are less. You do not have the total responsibility of your own private setup, as Dr. Usha has already mentioned so very well. Your overhead, staffing, and your business operations, all of that, it is divided responsibility, and it just doesn't come on you. Lost income caused by illness or vacation, or more work in longer hours with minimal peer support on that we otherwise have in a group practice. So a lot of advantages are definitely there when we go ahead with a group practice. So now in my mind, I have decided that yes, I think I'm ready for it. I'm ready to move out of my own comfort zone of a solo practice. I'm ready to move into a group where uh, I would want to associate with like minded people, with people who are from my batchmates, or with people who I feel I'm going to be extremely comfortable being day in and day out with them, and being as a part of that group. So once I decide I have entered a group practice, there are many different models, as again which has been explained earlier, but one of the models that we see in Mumbai is what is called as either an association or a partnership. So what is an association? An association is like a multi-speciality hospital, like how I'm in one of the multi-speciality hospitals of Mumbai. It is called Criticare Hospital. It is owned by a particular doctor, and we are a part of that entire team. So that is one kind, which is known as the association practice. And the other is a partnership, which is a group practice, which is a practice where we all are together. And the main differences that are that in associate practice, the associates do not share the income, whereas each partner of a partnership practice shares all incomes as per decision made by all. Also, the responsibility of expenses per physician is usually proportional to the amount of time they work in an office, like, or in a hospital, in a multi-speciality hospital. Whereas if you have a partnership, you have to share all the expenses that are there. You're not professionally or legally liable to each other in a multi-speciality hospital, whereas you are legally binded in a partnership agreement. So that was the step one, that okay, I am ready, the readiness of being in a group practice. And then if I'm ready, what kind of model am I looking at? What kind of model will I be absolutely comfortable for the rest of my life? Because this is not something that we are planning only temporarily. When we plan it, it has to be that we are thinking of it for good. So the second step to this would be that your mindset and willingness, not only about each and every aspect of the practice. So from if we are moving from a solo practice to a group practice, we know it is going to be a really huge transition for us. And there are some questions we need to ask our own selves to see if we are fit for a group practice. Let us consider some examples. Like, for example, if I want, if in a group, in a private practice, say if I want to take a vacation, if I want to take a leave, I can just shut my shop and move. But as Dr. Tejas said, that of course shutting shutters means you're putting, there is no income that's coming in at all. So that is one disadvantage. But the advantage of a solo practice is that I don't need to ask permission, I don't need to see if others are okay with it. But in a group practice, what would you do that if two people want to take leave at the same time? So we have to have that understanding, we have to have that mindset. If we want to survive in a group practice, we need to understand each other, and 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 understand that it's not only for us, even the others would require the same. Also, if in case there is, for example, there is an account where something has to be done and a vote is with the partner and not the associate, how would we deal with such situations? So a lot of these different kind of situations will come up, and how we deal with it, have a positive mind, have a mindset that yes, we want to survive in this group and we will do anything, and we will go beyond our comfort zone to continue with the group practice. The third step is, how will you survive while making these decisions? So let us again see some situations. For example, if you are in a group practice, and everyone is given a major responsibility, are you ready to handle that responsibility equally well, or even better than what you would do in your solo practice? Okay, then if it's great when everything works well, but what if the boat starts tilting? Is it, are you going to be the one who will take over that command and see that this does not shake and it sails as well as you we the whole group would expect it to do? Then let's say if there is a situation where patients are getting diverted by one of the partners, how would you deal with such situations? Also, understanding the working capital. What if there's a dearth in the primary capital? Are you willing to put in or chip in more to make this survive? It's all about survival. So it's all about the mindset and how willing we are to go ahead and go through all of these. Other important rules are that one of the main important part that about this entire thing is that it's not about me, it's definitely not about me. It is all about we. In all our talks, in all our website, wherever the group has been put up, it has to be portrayed not by individual names, not by putting up as this is my clinic. It has to be, it is our group practice. So it is not about me, it is definitely about we. More details about the exit policy is going to come up in this talk, but we have to just understand that if one plans to leave the group, he or she cannot practice within the radius of the main center, and that would become a deterrent to leave the group and not fight over petty things. So it's extremely important to understand that uh, everything has to be very clear. The understanding between all partners have to be well discussed in advance. Also, one very important thing is that every week the group should meet to discuss things further, to come up with the problems, to give clarity, to give transparency to the entire group, and the working of the practice. Coming to one of my last slides, as what are we looking at? We are looking at survival when we are like-minded people. So when a lot of like-minded people get along, get together to form the group, the the probability of this group going further is much higher. And if we know each other, if we know the natures already, it is easier to give in, and it is easier to understand that okay, it is fine, and it is just a temporary phase and we will pass through that. Also, there has to be a very, very strong understanding between all the partners of the group. Being positive is one of the most important things, that being positive that this group will survive and we will take anything to continue to be in the group. Understanding one's own expectations, as I said earlier in the slides, when we are ready to enter a group, we have to understand what we are looking at, what are our expectations from the group. And if we are not going to be happy with that, with the initial understanding, I do not suggest that it's then it will be wise to enter a group where there is no understanding. Create a very supportive environment and make it extremely fun. So just to conclude, we have to remember that group practice is like a marriage. It's bonded for life. We have to remember that there is no other alternative. With that in mind, that the group survives. That this is the only last thing, and this is what we are looking at. We are not looking at any alternatives to this. We have to keep all the agreements clear and understand that your expectations before jumping in.